Hello and welcome to Politics Up. I'm Damlola Okunshakin. Joining me to discuss today is Barrister Hannatu Musawa. She is the Deputy Spokesperson of the Tinubu Presidential Campaign Council. Hello, Barrister.
Hello, thank you very much for having me on your show today.
All right, thank you for joining us. So, how has the campaign been so far?
Well, the campaign has been very exciting and invigorating. We kicked off our campaign on the 15th of November, and already we kicked it off in Jos. We've been to Delta. We were in Delta a couple of days ago, and between the rallies, we've also been doing town hall meetings and engagement with stakeholders in the community, and the reception that we've received is absolutely is so encouraging, and the energy that I can see within Nigerians, people just want to get involved in this process. People want to have an opportunity to have their say, and by us presenting ourselves to the electorate and to the communities, it gives them a chance to interrogate not only our principle, but to be able to interrogate the action plan that we are presenting for Nigeria.
Why is a candidate the best choice?
Oh, without doubt, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is the best choice. There's no doubt in my mind. The good thing with this particular circle of elections is that Nigerians have an opportunity to look at so many different, very brilliant patriots. Many brilliant Nigerians have presented themselves to Nigeria for this election process. But of all of them, I think none has shown the level of innovation, the level of capacity and credibility that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu has shown. When he was governor in Lagos, the kind of innovation that he brought to Lagos, the kind of progress that he brought to Lagos is second to none. And of course, together with his running mate, Alhaji Kashim Shettima, I think the duo of the two present the kind of future that Nigeria hopes to be able to put into effect in a way that will put it in a higher plane. I think Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, given the opportunity, will be able to deliver Nigeria to the place that is supposed to be, so that we can join the great nations and the committee of nations all over the world.
As a ruling party, the APC government has actually been met with a lot of positive and negative reactions ever since this campaign started. Now, as a ruling party, do you think you have performed enough to retain the power in 2023?
Well, from the beginning of our campaign, we always just did say that we wanted to run a very honest campaign with Nigerians. And in that honesty, we can admit that there are areas that there have been challenges within this administration. We know that there's a lot of areas that this administration has been able to record a lot of progress and has been able to have so much gains and been able to perform quite optimally. However, we do understand that there are areas of challenges, areas like in the economy and areas like in the insecurity. But, even, for example, with insecurity, you can see that there's a more robust response from the side of the government. So the government does understand, or us in APC do understand, that there are very many areas that we need to or should have done better for Nigerians. And this is why we are saying to Nigerians that we're presenting Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu in order to be able not only to be able to consolidate on the areas that this administration has been able to make great progress, but also he is presenting himself to be able to bring solutions to the areas that we know there have been challenges.
Tell us some of the areas that you think APC government could have improved more in.
I think definitely, like I said, with insecurity, I think we could have done a lot better with insecurity. How insecure, different challenges come up all the time. So it's, of course, left to the government to be able to come up with more different dynamic responses to these insecurity challenges. So definitely, I think in the area of security, we could have done a lot better, but we are doing better. Even now, you can see the government is trying to do a lot better. I think in the area of economy as well, there are many areas that we could have made better with the government, with this redesign of Naira. It's trying that. I think we could have done a lot better. But like I said, I do believe that the APC government has been able to record more positive progress than it is the negative. But as human beings generally, because we're all going through this great strife that the economic challenge has presented, we are not, as a nation, isolated from that, because it's a global phenomenon. We all know the pandemic, the war, the recession that we inherited back in 2015. But notwithstanding, these two areas specifically, I think needs more measures to be addressed in these areas. And Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is presenting those measures that we think will be able to address these specific areas in the way that they need to be.
You have the last week APC campaign rally in Jos, where a session of the crowd started throwing objects at the podium. What do you think this suggests when such things happens while at the campaign rally?
Well, actually, I was there and I saw what happened. What actually happened, nobody was throwing things at the podium. What happened was that there was an overzealous security personnel that started hitting on one of the supporters that came to support Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I think at the time that Muhammad Buhari came in, a lot of the people in the crowd were very excited to see him in person. And so one of the security personnel got a little overzealous and he sort of attacked some members of the crowd, and they responded. Of course, taking that incident into isolation, it looks as if they were throwing things at the podium. But I was actually there and I saw what happened, and they weren't throwing things at the podium. I think they were responding to the very draconian way that the security personnel responded to the crowd. So, but that matter was addressed immediately. The security personnel was actually reprimanded, and the people, settled down not long after that particular incident. Nothing to cause alarm at all.
Mm-hmm. All right. Earlier this year, some groups, started campaigning saying that they want 35%. Inclusion, they want 25% women inclusion in politics. Some requested for 50%. So what's the final decision in the APC party?
Well, for the APC, of course, there was this 35% affirmative action which failed in the legislature. The incoming, hopefully, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu government is going to go back to the drawing board. Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, more than any candidate, I believe, really wants to be able to enhance the position of women and to be able to address the plight and this outcry that women have been sort of left behind. So within his policy framework, he has suggested a number of initiatives that he wants to put in place that will be able to ensure that women get their right place and women are included in the government. We have been assured that there will be a large percentage of women that will be included in the cabinet and that will be given particular government positions. And then the administration also wants to be able to reach out to the people in the legislature. Of course, we have to keep in mind that we have a system where there's a separation of power. So even if God willing, he becomes the president, he is not going to enforce his views on the people in the National Assembly. But there's nothing wrong with reaching out to them and appealing to them of the need for them to be able to give women that particular affirmative action that they require. So within his policy framework, we're going to try to do a number of initiatives that will be able to carry women along, not only in the executive, but that will have a legal backing that will make sure that women are included in the way that they should be. And of course, the party itself wants to be able to open different measures that will give women an easier pathway to participating in the electoral process.
All right, you're from Katsina State, and some people are of the opinion that when you are from a particular state or a particular area of the country, you are supposed to support someone from your area. So why is a northern person supporting someone from the south?
Well, because I'm a Nigerian first and foremost. Before I'm a northerner, I'm a Nigerian, and my interest is what is in the best interest of Nigeria. And I believe of all the candidates, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is in the best interest of Nigeria. And I think the majority of people in the north, which I believe will support Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu and APC in a very, very, very convincing way. I think many people will fall in line and they will give him the kind of support that will get him that landslide victory. They speak about the Northwest being sort of the battle zone of this election. And I can assure you, being from that area and having the chance of interacting with the people of the grassroots, they're not looking at this election as in terms of tribe or regionality. What they're looking for is who is going to be the best person to be able to address the issues that bedevil the area of the north. And with his track record, I think Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu has proven, and apart from his track record as well, the north sees Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu as a friend of the north. Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, more than any other candidate, has built human capacity. Any other person within this generation, Asiwaju has built human capacity, and that has also included the north. There's so many things that he's done in the north that people recognize, and we as northerners generally, when people do good things for us, we like to pay them back with good. So people now in the north generally feel that it's time now to show Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu gratitude for everything that he's been doing in the north for the past many, many decades, and the kind of support that he's given not only individuals, politicians in the north. So we are going to come out en masse in the north. We're going to give Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu our votes. It doesn't matter that there are other northern candidates. What we know is Asiwaju is going to be the best for Nigeria, because apart from being northerners, we're all Nigerians, and this is in the best interest of Nigeria for us to support the best candidate, and that is Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Kashim Shettima.
All right, earlier you talked about the women inclusion in politics. Now it would be right to say that the party has not concluded on what women we get, but the manifesto is out.
Yes, of course, that's what I said. With the manifesto, first of all, not manifesto, with our action plan, there is a proposal that there's going to be a great number of women included within Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu's cabinet. That has already been spelled out. And in conjunction with that, like I said, because of the separation of power, he's not going to be able to enforce his view, but there's nothing wrong with reaching out to the people in the National Assembly and appealing to them to give some sort of a legal backing where women will have that affirmative action that we so wish to have. And at the same time, a lot of in our action plan, it is expressed that women will be included not only in the cabinet itself, but will be given choice positions in terms of appointments. And at the same time, the party is going to come up with different initiatives where they made the pathway for women contesting in elections a lot easier, apart from just reducing the cost of the form. But we want to take stronger measures to ensure that women are included in the party structure and in the process of electioneering. It's all an action plan.
All right. Do you see any threats whatsoever from the Obidients ahead of the 2023 general election?
You know, this election for me, honestly, is a two-way race. There is no threat, absolutely no threat from the Obidient. Of course, when you go into an election, anyone who is vying, you have to take seriously. You cannot dispel their ability to make an impact. And I think for the first time in a very long time, we have seen a movement. Well, not really in the first time in a long time. I think what you see from the area of Peter Obi and his Obidient movement is very similar to what we saw with President Muhammadu Buhari in the early days, when in the 2003 election, 2007 election, and 2011 election, where he had so much support from one area of the country, but because he wasn't able to sort of resonate with other areas of the country, his message or his movement did not really take the people in other areas of the country, apart from where he was very popular, did not really understand his message. This is what I'm seeing with Peter Obi. Peter Obi coming to this race is very good for democracy in Nigeria because it's opened up the conversation. It's made the whole tapestry of democracy very colorful. So it's a good thing for us developing democracy in the way that we should. But Peter Obi, and I can categorically say, there's a constitutional impossibility at the moment for Peter Obi to win this election. And I tell you that because there's a constitutional requirement for geographical spread under Section 134 of the Constitution. In order to win an election, you have to have not only the majority votes, but you have to have no less than 1/4 of the votes in 2/3, which is 24 states. There's no state in the northern part which Peter Obi is going to win an election. I'm telling you that because they don't understand his message, that he's not resonating with the people of the north. So while you have this great presence online, but it's not grassroots. There's no structure. The Labour Party, we keep on saying this, and I know that we say it sounds quite trite, but it is the truth. There is no structure, for example, in Katsina, in Kano, there's no structure for Peter Obi. And I think that, it's good for democracy, but there's absolutely no threat. The closest threat that we have is the PDP. But the PDP is unraveling by the day. And the more that the PDP unravels, the more it plays into the support for APC. And let me tell you another thing, what the Obidient movement has done. The Obidient movement has helped the impending hopeful victory of APC. Because what the Obidient movement has done, it has cannibalized into the areas that PDP is very popular. Most of the areas that Peter Obi seems to be making a lot of impact are traditionally PDP states. So I read the article that Governor Soludo wrote a couple of days ago, or about a week ago, and that man actually hit the nail right on the head. By the Obidient movement is actually helping APC because it is reducing the popularity of PDP. It is reducing the threat that we have of it is eating into PDP's votes, into PDP's stronghold. So Obidient movement, we're very happy. In fact, we want the Obidient movement to continue, and we want the Obidient movement to continue as strong as it can through the election, because that will help us to be able to continue holding on to our stronghold while they cannibalize into our main opposition stronghold. So no threat from the Obidient movement whatsoever.
All right, thank you very much, Barrister Hannatu Musawa, for joining me today.
Thank you for having me. Hope to see you again before the election.
Yes, and good luck with your campaign. Yes, she's the deputy spokesperson
Thank you, darling.
of the.
Right, bye.
Yeah, she's the deputy spokesperson of the Tinubu Presidential Campaign Council. Now, this is where we have to draw the curtain on politics up. My name is Damlola Ogunshakin. Do want to like and follow us on all our social media platforms showing on your screen. On Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. Our WhatsApp number is also displayed on your screen.